Hi.
Hey, goed man.
Wat jam?
Hoe grand?
Sharp with it.
Easy. This is so cool. Could that be the future name? iCoffee.
Oh, you can see. No, this has been my cell phone name for the longest time.
Yeah.
You should release a coffee line. That would be so cool. iCoffee by Black Coffee. Ooh,
Look,
all right.
I want to, but it needs to be really good. I've had people approaching me and I don't like mediocre stuff. So I'd have to really put my time on it and make sure that it's really we're not playing with people,
Yeah.
But do you drink coffee?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great to see you, Hoodman. Thank you very much for taking this time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and just to reconnect, the album is officially out. Congratulations. It's a sixth project. You've been at this for a minute.
I don't think, but correct, but you can be right, but I don't think it's a six. I think there's more.
Isn't this a sixth studio album?
Black Coffee, have another one, Homebrewed, The Journey, that's 4, Africa Rising,
yes,
that's 5, Music is King.
Wasn't that an EP? Because I thought Music is King was under the EP.
You're right. I just thought project. You're right.
Yeah.
So who's right here? Who's wrong? Who's taking the L?
He's right. I'm wrong. He's right. I'm wrong.
How are you feeling, man, with all the reviews, from fans, publications? How's everyone receiving the album, and how are you feeling?
I'm so happy. I was very nervous because you can't just reveal a plan, and hope people are going to understand it. You just have to do it, So I've been doing stuff, That's what's been happening. I've been doing stuff. I've been releasing the singles, and people were so confused. Sometimes I would release 2 singles in 1 month. Why would you? We're still playlisting this one, and then there's another one. But this was part of the plan because I've always felt especially now with people streaming music, people forget albums quickly. For instance, Wizkid released an album, and I think it's one of the most brilliant albums to ever come out of the continent. But it's for a week, everyone's whoa, then it's gone. Because Sanel released an album, and it has so many songs as well. So when it comes out, we embrace it, we want to listen to it, but it's okay, there's another one, in the next week. And so I just felt I wanted to make people listen to the album by releasing all the singles one by one, and give each song a chance, and then release a full project. And hopefully when the project is out, people are going to understand the bigger picture, And one guy actually tweeted that, and it warmed my heart. He was now that the full project is here and I'm listening to it as a full project, it all makes sense, and which wasn't an easy thing, because South African audience, we are trend people. We like trends. We just go for trends in music and even in dancing. So can we dance? If you release a song during Dwalaza's time, can I dance Dwalaza to this song? And if I can't, then it's not happening, and with my album, I didn't want to follow any trend. I just wanted to create music and hopefully create a timeless album, and it's beautiful to see the reviews, especially locally, because these are my people. And, for those who understand the vision, it's really nice to see them really understanding what I'm trying to do.
It's great to hear the thought process behind it all, because it sounds like the way you rolled out this album, there was a deliberate intention with it to marinate the audience, for lack of a better term, to make us think, to not overwhelm us, for lack of a better term too? Is that the reason why you called it subconsciously? Because it's beyond the physical.
Not even, you know, and I've been getting this question, you know, it wasn't, you know, that deep. What happened is we did a song with Sabrina, called Subconsciously. And what's funny about that is every time when we're working on a song and it's not finished, I never write the full name. So I can listen to it on the phone. So like when I search for it, it's not a full name. So that the final one must have a full name. So what I did then, I just kind of like wrote the letters without the vowels. And I think my team like thought this is cool. So that's why the single, when it came up, people were so confused. They didn't know how to pronounce it, you know, which was also a cool thing because then we were able to call the album Subconsciously Full, you know. So what happened is I just felt like that song as a single encompassed, and it just became a reflection of a 2020 Black Coffee, you know, like looking back at the songs that I've done. If you listen to like Superman, if you listen to Turn Me On, these are like songs I did a long time ago, but the vocal is on a similar vibe. You know, there's a piano playing on the background, you know, it's very sultry, you know, and it's not a club song. I just felt like this song just describes where I am musically, you know, and I thought it would be like an important song to call the album, you know, give the title of the album, because I just felt like this is a 2021 Black Coffee song, you know, and everything else in between is me growing, me trying to just follow my heart in music, you know. The song with Pharrell, 10 Missed Calls, the song with Celeste is just like, this is also the music I like listening to, and therefore let me make the music I also like listening to.
Yeah. And talking about Subconsciously, when it came out, one thing that I picked up was it was definitely a turning point when it comes to the sound, because for a very long time people have always said, yo, Black Coffee is moving away, he's gone. And we put out Subconsciously, it was a clear indication of, okay, there's a transformation happening here. It could be that I don't want to say your age, but so kulile, your ear is changing, the music you're listening to, your space is changing. The song was also,
I'm saying the age part is an important factor to add, you know, and I think, and I'm going to use this word, I think subconsciously I want to, when I turn 50, do a Black Coffee dinner, a gala dinner with, you know, like a full orchestra performing, you know, the music that I have been releasing, and it's not house. You know, like the grown-up version of me. I need to start like doing more genres of music, you know, and maybe Beyonce will be performing with the orchestra in that gala dinner. You know, that's the vision, that's the dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so great to get that insight, Black, because, you know, Coffee, when you listen to the album and now you say the age, and you start hearing the stories, apparently with the Kelly Rowland song, for example, it was an energy thing. Y'all just couldn't get the song right. You were not happy, she was not happy, you were happy, not like there was that back and forth, and translating that energy to artists. When you're curating this project, you know, how are you able to translate that energy to everyone to say, okay, this is what I want, until you get to the point where you're ready to release it? Because even with the song with Sanel, you felt like, Konita Shaw died, and you sent it to him, you know what I mean? Like, how are you able to translate that with this album?
I think it's just communication, you know. This is one of the reasons, like, I always try to choose battles, you know, like, and try fight battles I can win, you know. Like the other day, there's a guy, I just forgot his Twitter account, who was singing, playing a drum, and I thought, this guy is so amazing, you know. And what would then happen is I need to picture myself in studio with this guy and his voice, and think, would work, because the last thing I would want to do is to give him that kind of hope where we go to studio and he thinks, wow, we're going to make a song. And then we get into studio and then the song is not happening. You know, and so the blessing then with working with the likes of like Kelly Rowland is her experience, you know, in her heart, and just understanding that sometimes the time is not right.
Yeah.
You know, and we want to work together and it's going to happen, but just not right now. You know, but someone else would take it so hard that, oh, damn, it didn't work out. You know, and how do you say that in studio when you spend 12 hours in and it's not happening? You know, then it's a tough conversation. So that's why I never just jump into working with people, because I'm also afraid of disappointing them. And we spend like days and days in studio, and still I feel like it's not working. You know, by that time there's like high hopes, you know, and so I always like watch that step very carefully, you know. And I made a comment on this guy's performance. Then people are like, do a song with him, you know, do a song with him. And I have no doubt that that guy's a star. Like, he's really a star, you know. But I not in my space, you know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, the last time this happened, the lady tweeted me and she was like, this is my song, please let's work. And I just had her on a Heavy K song. I just thought Heavy K would kill this. And I tweeted that. I'm like, Heavy K, this is your vibe. And they connected and they made songs, and she's been making songs with other people. You know, so it's just like, it's so great to be in a space where you are able to communicate what you can and what you can't do, you know. It's a new level of being like really comfortable, you know, with your talent, because it's understanding you can only go so far.
Curious to find out, how's the status going after you know, acquiring a stake of Gallo? Like, the process right now, settling in, how are things looking at the moment?
We actually haven't even had a meeting this year, you know, like a one. We have been talking, you know, doing a bit of like Zoom calls, and that's a big project, you know. For the longest time, I mean, we've had labels in South Africa duplicating what the world is doing in the music world, you know. And I don't want to say that as if it's a terrible thing. It's how the music business works. So we haven't had an opportunity to recreate that and make sure that no one is exploited. You know, like all of us, we started labels. When you start a label, where are you going to find a contract to sign your artist? You take a Sony contract. You just change Sony to Solistic. You take a Gallo contract, you change Gallo to Solistic, because it's known as the standard contract. You know, you may change the percentage that you are giving the artist, but you will change the same contract. So we've all been just basically copying what the world has been doing. And my thoughts with Gallo is, we need to restructure and change how the music business works. You know, that's why it's not easy. That's why, I mean, this is my last album being signed to any label. You know, after this, I'm independent. You know, and one would assume then I'm going to sign to Gallo. You know, but I can't until we fix the structure and make it a fair one at the same time without losing business, you know. And it's going to take a lot of work. So that's what we're working on.
You just said, I'm just like, what's going to happen? You're going to become an independent artist, and with the friends that we have around, it's always the people making alternative music or alternate music that you can't define or label it. When it comes to your music and how much you've grown, and people saying that's not house anymore, Black Coffee's not making house anymore, he's in a different realm. How would you label yourself so that when people speak about you and your music, they get it correct?
It's very tough, because even with DJing, you know, like the word that always comes in Europe is Afro, you know. And I'm like, Afro is who and what I am. You know, the music I play is house music. You know, that's it. Because in a set, if a DJ from Germany is playing a house music set, no one's gonna keep bringing the German influence of the DJ.
Yeah,
it's just house music. So I hate these lines where it's like, okay, so what are you? What kind of a producer are you? And that's why my last release, Music is King, is called Music is King, because that was a conversation. You know, I'm a music producer. I'm not a house music producer anymore. I'm a music producer, and I'm a house music DJ. Whether the house I play has African influence, Brazilian, German, you know, doesn't matter. It's house music. And so it doesn't matter the music I produce, it's music, you know. So that's the space where I would like to box myself if I were to box myself.
Thank you very much for this conversation. We had so many questions that we wanted to ask you, but it's I think we've got a lot out of this chat. But I'll ask you this: for the streets, for the kids, your sneaker collection. How many are there?
Let me tell you, right? Yeah. I've never done this. Okay.
Yeah. Please run for it.
Oh my God!
No way I read.
The Zoom call is gonna cut. Run, Coffee, run! Show us, run!
No, this is not where I really live, right? This is like my place, and so I have just here.
Oh my gosh!
This one.
Oh! On marble floors. I don't even know what that is.
Oh my gosh!
So.
That's an apartment.
This is like
in Bank, man.
Don't confirm. Don't confirm. Don't confirm.
I don't know. I don't know where it is.
You don't know where it is. Thank you.
That's a crazy collection.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right.
You're in South Africa.
All right. Have a great day. All right.